Facing challenges and overcoming setbacks is part of doing business. Whether you have the expertise to survive them or not could mean the difference between success or failure. Welcome to We Are Women, featuring revealing conversations that provide invaluable insights into the success secrets of female masterminds. A must listen for every entrepreneurial woman. Now here's your host, Janine Vosper.
Hi, it's Janine Vosper here, and welcome to this episode of the We Are Women podcast. I have the beautiful and talented Martha Mock with me today. And she is an industry-recognised confidence business coach with a global presence, an international entrepreneur and founder of the Super Confidence Coaching, specialising in empowering businesswomen to reach their full potential through confidence and achieving a balance between business, life, and relationships. She is recognised in the top 1% of all women's confidence mindset and business coaches in Australia, an international motivational speaker, an author of 6 eBooks and 1 co-authored published book, and a master practitioner of Neuro-Linguistic programming, or NLP as those in the industry know it as. I am so confidence is such a thing that I've always been passionate about. I know Martha and I, we are going to have a great conversation today. Welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Confidence, that's, people say, step out of the comfort zone and all build confidence. And it's not as easy for people who don't feel that level of confidence and self-worth in themselves, is it?
I feel like there are a lot of people put a lot of pressure on the word confidence. They keep thinking that I need to achieve a certain level before I can name myself having the confidence. For me, I see it in a different light. I see confidence as just being yourself, even as the imperfect you at the moment, and still being able to smile about it and be okay with it. And having that minimum bar set, it helps all of us to realize, hey, being confident is not as hard as what we think.
Yeah, that's easily said, isn't it? But for people who don't feel that level of self-belief and self-worth, it is really tricky to say, hey, you're not perfect, we're not perfect, nobody's perfect, now be confident. It's a trick, isn't it? It's not a trick. It's a difficult step into that space. Just thinking about have you ever thought about this? Why are some people they've got confidence and belief and they go push ahead and do everything that they want to achieve, and other people are held back because of their beliefs? Is there something that you've ever done that's sort of gone, I need to look at that and figure out why that is so?
I think that it comes from a lot of our old traumas that we have. A lot of people think about as the word trauma. They think that, someone stepped on them, or they have gone through bullying or all the harassment that they go through. But not realizing trauma can be as simple as you give someone a lolly when you were young, but you were rejected. That could cause a dent in your emotion. And based on that emotional experience, you relate it to confidence in yourself, and also relating it to fear and also rejection. So all of those experiences that you did not go so well have caused you this fear of not being able to express yourself properly. So at the end of the day, what is confidence? Confidence is just about being able to speak up and do it with respect. A lot of people mistaken confidence and being rude or egotistic. Especially I find that a lot of career women, when they think that, I have confidence in myself, the first sentence they relate to is, I'm going to be a bitch. Everyone will think that I'm like egotistic and I will be this horrible person in the office. But instead, having confidence is about having that strong belief in what your boundary is. And boundary have a lot of different level and everybody is different. So by finding what is your boundary, by knowing what do you want, that helps to build up our confidence.
Yeah, that's really interesting that being a bitch is often a perception from other people more so, as well as, well, people, I find this when I work with clients, and they'll go, I don't want to come across as a bitch, and I don't want to be really feeling like I'm aggressive, or and there's that space they hold on to themselves, and it's very much to do a lot of personality profiling as well, and it's a lot to do with the individual person, but it's that confidence to set boundaries. Just on an anecdote, I was at a business meeting yesterday morning, and they put out the breakfast, and I was standing grabbing a cup of tea as the owner of the cafe came out, and I looked up the meals, and they were mostly wraps and not nothing was appetizing. And I said as he came out, and I said, look, I won't be able to eat any of that. And he's looked at me and looked at the food that had been laid out for the other 40 people. And he said, can I get you a couple of poached eggs? And I said, that will be perfect. Thank you. Now, everyone else is watching me eat my poached eggs, which I thoroughly enjoyed and was very thankful for. But it's that speaking up and doing it in a way that you end up getting. My husband always goes, oh, I can't believe that those people are doing that for you. You got that result, or you got that discount, or you got the best camping spot, or whatever it is. And it's just recognizing that you need to ask for things if you want them, don't you?
I completely hear you on that point. Being an Asian culture as well, we've been told that we should be the woman that shut up, put our head down, be the wife, be the sister, be the daughter that the society and our families expect us to be. And it is all of those thinking that is actually keeping us trapped. All of those beliefs that other people have embraced it on us, and we thought that was the only way to go. And I was one of them. And if I'm going to share with everyone today, I'm actually an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. And people think, wait, really? Martha is an introvert? I am. I could stay at home all day. I could go to a movie by myself without talking to anyone. I don't need holding hands to go to the toilet. That sort of stuff, I don't need it. I'm very, very happy being in my own space. But in saying that, it doesn't mean that I don't and I can't work with other people. A lot of people think that a woman, especially being confident, we get this label of, oh, she's demanding, she's high maintenance, without looking at in another way that I look at myself as I have requirements. I don't have expectation, because expectation is another thing, but I have boundaries, requirement, and standards. So as long as I uphold myself of what I want, and also expressing myself with respect to the other person, why not?
Yeah, a lot of interesting points in that, particularly from your heritage. Now, just even reading books and read the books and watched the movies, the Crazy Rich Asians in the Singapore, and it's a movie, it's a book, but the books are actually written by somebody that lived the lifestyle. That was their books, and they produced the movies. And it was that expectation of, you have to do what is expected. You can't go against the family name, and you will behave a certain way. Now, I know it's not just Asians. Again, I was just reading a novel, a fiction novel, but it was based about upper class in Boston, or the perceived older families in Boston. Very much the same thing. People felt that they didn't have their own choice to speak up and tell how they wanted things to be, until something major changed, and then they had the opportunity to realize that needed to be done. So is that sometimes, have you noticed with some of your clients that sometimes they need to have a big catalyst come along, that they then go, this isn't acceptable, that I keep responding in this way and be subservient or agreeable without any boundaries?
I hear you, switch. Because the funny thing is, being a human, we normally don't go and fix things until it causes us a major pain or major issue. isn't it? Even that we're looking at that picture, it's a little bit crooked. But until the day that you need to take a photo and put it on social media, you won't even go and walk over there and just turn that little angle a bit. That's human nature.
I do, but
Yeah.
I get the analogy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my camera going, it's slightly off.
Yeah, slightly off, exactly. So we do have that issues like that until it becomes a pain or a hurt for us, we don't go and fix it. And a lot of career women especially, they will experience that when they're trying to move up the ladder in what they're doing, because they finally realize what is the difference of having authority or being everyone's friend. When you've been everyone's friend, you're not really being respected. You're getting taken advantage of in a lot of time just because you are that nice person. But inside of us, we get it's like a doormat that we get people to keep stepping on top of us and thinking that as long as I be this nice person, I'll be okay. And I can bet you, this is from my personal experience, that someone in your life have told you, if you don't shine bright enough, you will be safe. You are a lot safer when you're not shining, because you won't become a target. All of those thinking, all of those safety issues that other people have put on you, you believe it to be true. So when the one day you need to go and fight for that position that you want, the promotion that you want, instead of being the person that you can be, you try to be this nice person and let all the other people speak first. And that can contribute to your internal success and also your confidence building as well. And I'm not saying that you constantly need to speak up. You constantly need to be talking over other people on their top. But it's about realizing that, hey, you know what? You can ask for time to speak up. You can ask for a space for you to shine. And you are the first one who must believe that you have the quality to do it.
I love that terminology, ask for a space to shine. Yeah, that is, and that's exactly what it is, asking for that opportunity. And whether if that involves, I've set this boundary now, I ask, I really love the way that you have termed that. And I had never thought about it until you said it, that people may have been told that don't shine too bright because that will draw attention to you. You know, unfortunate that wasn't part of my reality. Well, maybe it is, and I just don't hear it. Just ignore it. Go off my own little journey, doing my own little things. You know.
Yeah.
But as a child, I don't remember it being a thing. So I think that's a very good an example of a belief, but then pulls you back. A belief that becomes a value then pulls you back, doesn't it?
And the funny thing is, it comes from love. Your parents love you so much. Oh, don't walk too fast. Oh, she will fall. All that little thing are protecting you. And because you saw how other people used to protect them, you do exactly the same to your own children and the children or your grandchildren, etc., etc. So that belief has been carried on a long, long time. Like for me, myself, after my last marriage, I'm now with a Caucasian guy. Trust me, the culture shock, it was actually very interesting. I'm looking at her, like his daughter, and then I'm like, oh, will she fall? Like, will she hurt herself? They didn't care. They just let them explore. And then I'm like, you know what? That's actually a good thing. As long as that they don't kill themselves, it's actually okay to let them explore and experience life. Yes, we love to protect the people we love. We love to protect everyone around us because we're a good person and a kind person. But sometimes I have to realize at some moment, is it me being controlling, or am I actually trying to put my expectation on that person? Okay, now I need to wind myself back and let them have the space to grow up. Let them have the space to make their own journey. And that is just respect.
And that ability to face challenges, have the capacity to face challenges because they face challenges. If we don't give, I was having a conversation with a client earlier, and we revolved around this because he's hired a lot of younger people to work in his business, and he's finding that he that they haven't necessarily developed and it's a very generalization, but haven't developed the problem-solving capacity because and these are from country kids, so there's not as much as it is from urban. The hovering parents and trying to protect them from everything, and in fact, what it is, it's disarming them. So they don't have the capacity to have the forthright and the abilities to face those challenges and have the ability to work out how to solve problems. And then when they do that, you build that level of resilience and the next level of resilience and the next level of resilience. And I was talking about it because my sons are in their 30s now, and it was very much, we're going to ride our push bikes. Be back at 6. Don't worry about it. You know, and I am positive they got into trouble while they're out riding the push bikes. I'm positive they went places where I said, don't go down by the creek. I'm positive. I did exactly the same thing. But and I'm hearing stories now, you know, as they've got their own children as to what they did. But it built up this incredible ability to have the capacity to solve problems and to be very resilient, even when a lot of stuff comes at them. And that's what, and when you've got that resilience, you have got confidence, haven't you? That you then can face anything because you know yourself and you can trust yourself.
Yes. And I think being a parent and being like, I'm a step parent, so I don't have my own kids, but doesn't mean that I love people anything less. But being that in that emotion and being a woman as well, having our hormone, we are such a protector in many sense. We like to protect things. We don't like to see things hurt. We don't like to see things harm. But in saying that is, I have to come back into myself and asking, am I being controlling or am I allowing people to grow? That is the big key that I find that it helped me realize what am I doing. Because as a woman, I remember back in the days when my partner told me, wow, you're quite controlling. I'm like,
I've been told that more than once too, Martha, though.
And then you start to begin really, really defensive. But then when I come down and actually have a look at him and say, oh, the fact that he's telling me I'm controlling is not in a negative way. He's actually telling me that I need to give them space to grow so they can be a stronger person. Because remember, back into our days, we didn't get as much love and cuddling and all the protection. Like even why I push right now, you've got covers everywhere that you can buy. Back in our days, no, like you get a scrape. But what would that made us? This stronger person. I was just in a dental surgery earlier, and I heard that the receptionist said, yeah, yesterday the girl came in her first day, actually walked out by lunchtime. Because they couldn't follow the company procedure in cleaning. It's a dental surgery, so their standards are high. But you can see how it was not irresponsible, is that young people have lost that resistance into how to deal with problem solving, how to deal with their emotion, how to express and ask for what they want, because they never have to ask for more than once now. They just need to ask their parent and the parents will give it to them.
Yeah, and we're generalizing here, but I've been, working in a space with group hire company and working with apprentices and trainees and talking to clients who employ younger people, and it's not their fault. It's their parents' fault for disarming them and disempowering them, and by not allowing them to. And then unfortunately, when they do get that opportunity to break free, they don't make the best choices, where a choice that a 11-year-old might make while he's riding his push bike out around the bush is very different than what a 18-year-old might make in his car with a few mates. I hear you there, definitely. Especially like I started working since the age of 13. Because I feel like that. Like I started working, selling pictures at Penny's Market. That was when I actually started my career journey. So it helped me to develop this sense of being a lot more mature than my age.
It helps me a lot in that sense. Doesn't mean my parent doesn't love me or anything. It just means that I have the opportunity to go and explore different things. And I'm grateful for them because by the age of 21, I already got married and I experienced that a 19 years
Me
abusive
too.
marriage. There you go. So, like, that's what you do when you're young and silly at
Oh,
21. Like,
I'm still there 43 years later.
yeah, it's just like fun, like, because I was being bullied at such a young age. What I was looking for was someone to love me and take care of me and look after me. Not in the sense of finances, okay? A lot of women, when they hear the word, especially men as well, oh, taking care of you, so I need to pay for anything. No, 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 no. It doesn't mean that. As a woman, especially a career woman, we are completely capable of looking after ourselves financially. It is those values that we cannot buy with money, such as love, care, affection. All of those things is what we crave for as a woman, and that's quite internally. The stronger you are on the outside, the more you actually want that support on the inside. That is the truth. And we need to find it from somewhere. And I see a lot of single single parents does it as well, because they need that cattle. They need that someone, their reason for them to actually fight harder in their life. So just about finding that balance, I find that it's very, very important in knowing what you want. Like we always come back to it. What is confident is knowing that you may not be good enough, but still give it a go without faking it. That is the difference. I am completely against something like fake it till you make it.
Me
Because
too.
yeah, because you can't. You can only fake it to a certain level until you get discovered. And during that discovery period, you're continuously living in fear. Nothing worse than living in fear. So I rather say, hey, this is the best I am. I will do my best to do it. Not giving you any guarantee, but I can tell you that I will give it 120%. That's being honest. That's being genuine. And that is asking for the permission to make mistake and to grow, because
Yeah.
mistake making is just a learning path.
Yeah, that's and that's interesting, because all we can do is the best that we can do. Yeah, that's such an important factor. And when I'm working with people, there's no such thing as perfectionist.
Yeah.
It holds you to a standard that's unachievable. Your only standard that you can have is to do the best you can possibly do. And that's the beautiful thing about working with coaches, is that you learn more information, so your best becomes better.
Yeah, exactly. Perfectionists, I think a lot of career women will have it. We are in that standard of expectation from other people, thinking that we need to do better than what they expect us to do. All that constant pressure, you're going to break in one moment. How many people get overwhelmed, burned out? It is because of that unrealistic expectation that we put on ourselves, thinking other people expect us to do that. So once we change our concept, knowing what our limit, what our boundaries, and what we can do, and what are the extra side, the extra bubble area, which I call the risk zone. Somewhere that you can venture out and step out of your own comfort zone to try it. So you know that you will still be safe. If there's a little bit of risk, yes, you may get a scrape, but you're not going to die. So let's try it and make a difference. So many of us doing exactly the same thing day to day and hoping to get a different result. That's never going to work. We all know that answer, but we still continue to do it. Why? Because change is scary.
Yeah, definitely that. And that's one of the biggest fears that people have. And it's not something they would necessarily externalize, but it's definitely something that people internalize, and that becomes stress within their bodies when something happens that's change in our lives. And coming back to that, when I'm teaching people with professional speaking in particular, or sales conversations, I'm the same with you. You can't fake it. I don't want to work with people who are fakes at what they do. But what I do encourage people is to feel it until they make it. So own that confidence level, own that sense of I've got this covered, even when the wheels and the hamster in the back of the brain's going, no, you haven't. But to talk yourself into it, but sense of feeling, take the emotion that you want to feel when you go into it, and then when that emotion will continue to build, because that's where your angle of focus is on, and not focused on being fearful or am I faking this.
Exactly. Imposter syndrome is such a beautiful term that I have learned in my journey, knowing that, hey, you know what? You may not think you're perfect, but you have the talent, the experience to be the best version of you. And that's all you have to show out. And when talking about change, we keep thinking that we can have one little magic wand and we become Cinderella. It doesn't happen in the real life. So what we're looking at is just a 3 millimeter shift every single day. It's just that little idea of, hey, I'm going to allow information in. Yes, I'm going to accept a new idea. All that 3 millimeter change is what's going to help you to become the next step, the next person that you want to be.
Yes. And again, I was talking with some ladies today who are all in my age bracket, who are still enthusiastic business people out there achieving every day. And we just talked about that when we were 20 or 30 or 40 even, we did not have any concept of the ability and beliefs and the life that we would be living now. It's constantly changing. That's really the only given is, other than death and what they say, death and taxes, is change. Things are changing, and every time you learn something new, you change from that instant moment before, which is incredibly important to realize. The other thing you brought up is the comfort zone, and I've got this thing where I don't call it a comfort zone. I call it a confinement of anxiety.
Ah, nice.
Because every time you think you have to take a step out, you want to pull back, and that sense of fear is with you in that comfort zone, instead of, it is anxiety that's there. And I was listening to someone the other night, and they were saying, rather than stepping out, just keep pushing the boundaries out wider and keep making that space bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, it becomes this little, it's not a great wall. It's just there's something very easy to, maybe a mark in the sand, and very easy to step over.
It's true. I was listening to Mel Robertson the other day. She was saying that something which it aligns with me a lot. She said that the excitement, the feeling of excitement and anxiety in your body, it reacts exactly the same. So instead of telling yourself it is a scary moment, I have a fear, I'm having all that panic attack coming up, instead tell yourself, I'm so excited. I just can't wait to believe it. All that kind of thing. Start singing that song. I'm so excited. I can't wait to experience it. All that kind of thing, it will help to change your vibration in yourself as well. As soon as you vibrate differently, the people will accept you differently as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, how the people accepting you. Yeah, that's something I use with the public speaking in particular, is to get that sense of excitement, and that people, when I work with them, they have to use that mantra as they're going to speak. I am excited, and using the intense hand punch as well. I am excited. It's and it changes it up. It really shifts it.
It does. I just came back from a cruise, and this time is a family cruise. All of us went together, and I love the karaoke bar. I love singing in public, and they keep looking at me as like, you're Asian. Why do you have the confidence to go up and actually sing in front of 100 people? And I'm like, I'm just excited to go and share. It doesn't matter how good or bad I sing. I'm just allow a space to voice out, to just express myself. And guess what? After 3 days, I don't need to know those people anymore. What's a better way to go and experience one, isn't it?
That's a very good point. Can you sing though?
Yeah, I enjoy singing and I love it. So hopefully that I can sing. But I did get people saying that, wow, you got a wonderful voice, you got a great voice. I'm like, oh, that's
Oh,
very
no.
kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's good. But I do prepare. See, when you're not confident about something, this is one really good tip that everyone
mm,
can try. Practice and practice and more practice.
mm,
Practice does help to make it more better for you. It's not a perfection. It's never a perfection because when you're presenting, you always have the outside environment that could actually contribute to your performance. However, when you practice long enough, you develop this sense of repetitive muscle that it will just go, it will
mm.
just share, it will just become better. So the more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way. Being prepared really does help you. And it, and then you get to the state where you don't have to be even prepared. You
Yeah.
just turn up. I'm in a not-for-profit public speaking club,
Mm.
and regularly for what to challenge me in delivering speeches or training,
Yeah.
I'm given an impromptu topic as
Uh,
I'm walking up to the front of the room to speak, and here's my topic, and you've got 5 to 8 minutes. And they made it a bit trickier the other night. They gave me 3 topics.
yeah.
Randomly, people had given me the 3 topics, had to weave a speech around those 3 topics. And they were scuba diving, I think positive or inspiring life or something was one of them.
Mm.
And the other one was vasectomy. I
Oh,
had to weave a speech around those 3, and it's just fun. But
yes.
I couldn't have done that 15 years ago, 10 years
Yeah.
ago, even 5 years ago. And to be
It's
able,
true.
it just doing things that push you to do something better than you've ever
Mm,
done before will enable you to be able to achieve results that you just didn't believe was possible. And that's one of the things that I
exactly.
love seeing in people. And you'd be the same. You're working with somebody and then you see that they've just they've had their light, they're allowed to have their light shine, and it shines within them, doesn't it?
Yeah. And especially a lot of people probably will think, oh, I wish I met you 10 years ago. And the
Mm,
truth is, if you met me 10 years ago, you're probably not ready for what I'm going to teach you. We all have our timing. We all have our space that we know that that is the moment I am going to decide to change. That conscious decision is always inside of us if I wanted to do something. Like going back to the analogy that I need to turn that frame a little bit towards like more straighter, even that I've been looking at it for 10 years. And not until that
mm,
one day I say I decided I'm going to make that difference. That's when it's going to change. So to all the listeners out there, there's never a time that you say, oh, I'm maybe too late. I'm beyond help. No one can teach me anymore. There's never too late as long as you believe and you put in the commitment into it and say, I am ready for this next step.
mm.
That's when everything will start rolling. And changes is not a one-day thing. It is a progress, it is a strategy, it is a planning. But what is good about working with a coach is to help you, to guide you, and to shine the path for you so you can take the initiative to walk it. We can't walk the journey for them. We
Mm.
can't. We love you to death, but we simply cannot. But we can guide you to go where you want it to be.
Yeah, yeah, well said on that point. And this is the another thing important part about getting a coach. I have a golf coach, golf pro that I work with. And when I first started playing golf, I went and did ladies clinic lessons with a
Yeah.
golf pro. So when I first started, I learned to swing well because how to grip the club well, how to swing well. And over time, things change. So you get a better coach who can take you to that next level. And so, but the basics are there because I got the basics right from the beginning from a coach rather than fiddling around for 10 years myself trying to,
Mm,
well, I wonder how I should stand when I'm doing a putt, or
yeah.
how am I going to hit this ball? How far am I going to hit it? Which club? All of that, because you get the base stuff done. And one of the reasons I love working with people, but they do frustrate me sometimes when they go, oh, they just stumble through it for 5 years and, not really getting anything, and still have this hobby business rather than something that is very real and worthwhile, because they haven't got the right base to start with, and then they don't know how to get the right people to help them at the right time. And no matter what the coaches are doing, whatever it is you want to learn, that continual learning, and then you get more confident.
Yeah. And I have to say, every single coaches out there, they will teach you something, and that will be successful for a certain type of people. You just got to find the person that aligns with you, who actually speak your language, who is willing to listen to you instead of putting their projection and their ideas into you. I think that is quite an important thing for all of us to realize, that every single program out there works, but what works best for you? That is what you need. That's the right question to ask, because I know a lot of us who are looking into self-development or looking into business coaching or anything to do to help ourselves better. There is so many out there. There's millions of courses, millions of ways that they all promise something. But instead of looking at what they promise, first question to ask is, what do you want? What do you want out of this relationship? What do you want out of this investment? Remember, it is an investment. You are putting in your time, you are putting in your effort, and not to say you do have to pay for it as well. So every single thing that you're doing is an investment. Take the emotion out when you're making a logical decision. That's what will help you to make the right decision. Oh, she looks so nice. She's so kind. I had a talk with her. She's so nice. But she doesn't understand how to run a social media business. Then why do I hire her as a social media manager?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So always come back into your core. It's not about being a bitch. It's not about being the bad person. It's just about asking you, what do you want? What do I need? And how am I going to get it? It's very, very, very logic in the business world.
Yeah. And that just makes so much sense on that. I love meeting up with these 22-year-old life coaches. Well, it might be good for a 16-year-old. It actually probably would be good for a 16-year-old because of that journey that they've gone through to be able to help them. And again, it is important to align with people with the same values and that connection with them. Usually at the beginning of the interview, I ask my guest, my beautiful guest, why did you get into this? And I missed that point, and I really want to understand what got you into wanting to help people improve their confidence level, Martha.
Because I was the great pretender. I was someone who was very successful on the outside, running my own business since the age of 26. I run an international makeup business. I travel all around the world to do makeup for people. I was just a makeup artist, but my ex-husband used to say that I earn more than a prostitute. So that's why they're an ex. Yeah, that's why they're an ex. And there you go. So on the outside,
I would have gone, cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, like that's a funny thing for me to say now, isn't it? Quite fun. But and then people were like, what is she talking about? Yeah, yep, that's exactly what he said to me. But the funny thing was, like, on the outside, I was great. I was on a like international beauty expos and things like that. I win competition. I'm judging makeup competition. Everyone on the outside think that, oh my God, she's confident, she's happy, she got this bright smile. That was the outside me. On the inside, they don't know all I had was a cat that I hold on to her and cry under four walls. I hardly step out of my bedroom. We sleep apart for about 5 years. There's no intimacy, no caring. But I was the one paying for all the bills for over 10 years. That was my life. No one knows about it. Not until on my 40th birthday, I asked myself, what do I want in life? I was so depressed at that time that I only want to live up to 60 years old. I said that will be enough because I experienced luxury. I travel in some part of the great world. I eat the best thing. I have the most limited edition handbag. I had enough in my life already. And my life was so sad that I can't see anything more than 60 years old. I would say that my life would be enough. So I said to myself, what do I want on my 40th birthday? I said, I want to be happy and I want to find a person that will treasure me and love me for who I am, not who I cannot be. So I cannot be this quiet woman that will not have a voice. I will not be this person that will get hit all the time and not fight back. So I need to choose a different life. So I choose to go out for my divorce. And about a year and a half later, went into my dating journey. It was like, online dating because like I don't go to club, I don't drink much. So it was really hard for me to know like some people. And I was 40 years old, 16, size 16, not small, Asian, doesn't have big eyes, and I short hair too. So very not your
You've
average
described it well for the
woman.
listeners on the podcast who don't watch the
So
video
like
on YouTube.
so it's like, oh, like, who the hell am I to find a nice person? But
Yeah.
guess what? I have no shortages of candidates who wants to put in their application form to see me. So that was actually very good in building up my confidence. And until I found my current partner, he is also doing personal development as well. And even that he's a Navy, he's always not here. He understands the importance of space and respect. And that helped me to come out of my shell. I start sharing my story of my childhood, where I've been bullied since the age of 6. I could have no one in the school talking to me. For 3 years, I was sitting alone in the canteen all by myself, and no one cared about. And I was too scared to tell my parents anything about it because they have their life, they're busy, they care for me, but I was not close to them enough to be able to share anything with them. Even the fact that I was sexually molested by one of our relatives. Every single year, we go and visit them for Chinese New Year, and he would pull me into a room that I didn't know that was the wrong thing to do. And I blocked that out in my mind for so long until that my partner have encouraged me to share my story to the world. When I first come out, this is about confidence, and I am a true introvert before. No one actually knows what my story was. So when I have to speak up and let people know, I felt like I was in Miami on a stage with two spotlights shining at my butt crack. Basically, that's how I felt like. It was so scary. Not until I realized, hey, I don't need to take everything off at once. I can take it layer by layer until I'm fully comfortable. And that's how I build up my confidence. And in that journey, I have inspired many women to say, hey, now that I have heard your story, I know that I can be different as well. I do not need to be staying in that own trauma of my life. When I was doing NLP, this was you have probably heard of a timeline therapy.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And in timeline therapy, it brought me back onto the first moment I experienced fear. And that moment was when my father used a knife to stab on my hand. All I can see is my vein was green and blue and my blood was deep red. That was the memory and the first time I experienced fear.
What happened?
It was just because I was naughty and he was trying to teach me a lesson and then used a kitchen knife and stab on my hand. I still have the mark to actually prove it. And that was how Asian culture was. Doesn't mean he doesn't love me. Doesn't mean that I don't love him. But that was how you're supposed to teach a kid with their naughty. I got a nickname. My nickname was Naughty Martha. That was my nickname when I was small. All my uncles still call me that, and they have no idea. Now they meet me now, like I'm 44 this year. So when they met me now, it's like, how did Martha turn out to be like this? She's polite, she's respectable, and she's kind. She was never like that when she was young. So we all have our own journey into it. And now that I'm looking back into it, why was I so naughty? Because I wasn't feeling love. I wasn't feeling attention. And why did I pray for love so much that I got married when I was 21? Because I was fearful of being alone. Why did I not get out of a marriage that was cost me 19 years of my life? Because I was afraid of dying alone. It was better than have a housemate than nothing at all. That was my fear. So once I come into terms into this scariness, what I'm truly afraid of, learning that vulnerability is actually beautiful. It's not a weakness. being able to ask for help is only a sign of strength and bravery. Wow, that completely changed me. I used to be this tough woman that the world expect me to be, putting up my hands and just fight for the world myself. I feel like Wonder Woman every single day. And I forgot to take the Wonder Woman suit off and give myself some time to care for myself and love for myself. I still remember the first person to tell me to have more self-love. I actually tell him to F off. I did.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
very
really challenged you. Yeah.
It has, because I thought I have the most luxurious handbag. I need the most beautiful fine dining. Who the hell are you telling me that I do not have self-love? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I didn't. That was emotional eating. I didn't know. I didn't know. That was just me frustrating. So I spent all the money that I have. There you go. That was
Yeah.
my life. And being able to admit on that, that was a big change for me. So for all of us out there, start by acknowledging what have happened. Doesn't matter what the trauma is. Acknowledgement is the first step to go before being aware of what your needs are. Then go and look for the path that you need to go into. Work with a coach to find you again. That's how I find myself as well.
That's wonderful. And it's so important that people have the capacity to tell their stories. I can't believe that we are nearly out of time. We have 3 takeaway points that we always, gift out, even though we talk about so many wonderful points throughout. There are 3 takeaways that you're thinking of that you'd like people to remember in particular and apply maybe.
The first one is you do not need to be perfect to be confident. You are completely okay being just you. The second step is that never be afraid to ask. If you don't ask, you will never get.
I got my poached eggs.
Yeah, exactly. And the third thing is, remember, you are allowed to ask and have a voice, but you must do it with respect, because no one will respect the other person when they're not being respectful. So if you want the same thing in return, always do it with respect.
3 very, very good points. So first one is nobody's perfect. So expecting perfection is a little bit crazy if we're not perfect. And have a voice, like own your voice. And then the third one, allow you to have that voice, but do it with respect. How can people get in touch with you or find you, Martha?
I am across all social media. If you search Super Confident Coach, I'm the first one to come up on Google, or search for Martha Mock, you'll be able to find me.
Wonderful. And we'll have all of the contact details in the show notes as well. Is there anything that you want to add before we wrap up?
I never need to be afraid of reaching out to another person, but I do want you to know that I want your commitment as well, because when you're committed, that's when you're starting to change. And the change is not for me. You're not changing for anyone else. You're changing because you want to be better. So always give yourself that permission and acknowledging what's going on around you, and your possibility of change will come.
Absolutely. That's a great way to finish there. Thank you very much, Martha, for being on the We Are Women podcast. It's been a wonderful conversation. It's always gone very quickly, as it always does. And Janine Vosper here, signing off from this episode. Remember to go to JanineVosper.com if you want to book a coaching call, or just to have a strategy call and chat about how you might make changes in your life to gain more confidence, or any other skill base. And if I can't help you, I have got the most amazing list of wonderful guests that I've had on my show and connections who I will be able to direct you to the right person to help you with whatever's happening in your life and business. Have a wonderful time until the next episode of the We Are Women podcast. Bye-bye for now.
So, do you feel stuck in a rut in business? Visit speechperfect.com.au and download Janine's free ebook to avoid the 5 most common stumbling blocks women face in business. It's jam-packed, full of tips to overcome the barriers that could be holding you back from the success that you dream your business will be. We would love you to leave a review of today's episode and share this podcast with other women in need of entrepreneurial inspiration. Subscribe to the next episode now and join the We Are Women community.